Once upon a time, there was a black Indian American female vice president. She loved cackling. She loved pretending to be something she wasn't. She was abusive. She created a toxic work environment in the White House. She was Joe Biden's best friend initially. But Biden's wife, Jill, she never liked her. And since we know that the will of the wife is what prevails, Joe Biden decided to break up with the motor-mouthed vice president. The breakup was brutal. Kamala wanted to be president, and her team really hyped her up to believe she would really make it with all the diversity boxes she checked. But doing a real job takes real skill, and sadly, she will soon have neither. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Atul Mishra, and in this video I will tell you how Kamala Harris could soon be replaced as the Vice President of the United States. Let's begin. Did you know Kamala Harris is arguably the most hated Vice President the United States of America has ever had? That's right. Kamala Harris's approval ratings have nosedived to 28%. A 51% majority of respondents said they disapprove of the job Harris is doing as the Vice President.
We did it, Joe.
Riding on the mighty horse of multiculturalism and diverse ethnicity, Kamala Harris became the Vice President of the United States of America. She was supposed to be the mantle carrier of liberalism and validate the white old man Joe Biden's presidency. She was supposed to do away with racial injustices and ensure gender equality across the United States of America. Expectations from Kamala Harris were never low. They were always high. But today, when the people of America are disappointed in her for not being able to deliver on even one issue of significance, Harris and her team are blaming Joe Biden for giving the Vice President difficult issues which are way out of her league to resolve. And what's worse, with her approval ratings in a free fall, Harris can forget dreaming about ever becoming the president and focus more on holding on to her vice president chair, because even that could be lost by her soon. But does that not beg the question, did Kamala Harris lie on her campaign trail when she promised infinity to American voters? Was it all hogwash? Was it all fake like Kamala's recent French accented talk?
Campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P, the plan. We're expected to defend the plan. The plan.
Whatever be the case, Kamala Harris now faces the prospect of being removed from office. She is not cooperating. She is dampening the mood within the White House. And she is horrifying Democrats with her fallen approval ratings like never before. Don't we all know the pain of being dumped? But none of us have been dumped by a political party that promised to make us president one day. Guess who has? Kamala Harris. She's been dumped big time. The Democratic Party is no longer willing to associate itself with the vice president's antics. And if recent events are anything to go by, the party might just be reading itself to pull the rug from under Harris's feet. According to a recent CNN report which comprehensively tries helping Kamala Harris in her bid to pin the blame of all that's going wrong in her life on Joe Biden, the vice president no longer seems to be Joe Biden's or even Democrats' favorite person to run for president in 2024. Instead, it is Pete Buttigieg. Yep, this guy. You might remember from those widely televised debates where the Democrats went all guns blazing at each other to become the party's presidential nominee. Well, Buttigieg happens to support paternity leave for fathers, and after having adopted 2 children in September himself, the man availed of the luxury himself. That's how high the benchmark of being a Democratic presidential nominee is. That led to him being grilled by Tucker Carlson of Fox News. Intriguingly, the White House went in all guns blazing in Pete's defense. Such was the enthusiasm of Biden's top aides to defend the man that everyone hearing them could not help but notice how the same energy was missing when it came to defending Kamala Harris's many gaffes. According to the CNN report, Harris loyalists tell CNN they see in that yet another example of an unfair standard at play, wondering why she didn't get similar cover any of the times she has been attacked by the right. It added, It's hard to miss the specific energy that the White House brings to defend a white man, knowing that Kamala Harris has spent almost a year taking a lot of the hits that the West Wing didn't want to take themselves. One cannot help but notice the tension that is building up between Kamala and Joe camps, and also how the Buttigieg camp is looking to end Harris's career with one swift stroke. Now you might wonder, Pete is a white man. How is he a favorite all of a sudden? Well, he's white, but also a gay man, and that checks at least one box for the diversity freaks. So Kamala should be very afraid. Very, very afraid. So could Kamala Harris be impeached? According to Section 2 of the 25th Amendment to the United States Constitution, whenever there is a vacancy in the office of the Vice President, the President shall nominate a Vice President who shall take office upon confirmation by a majority vote of both houses of Congress. You might ask, where is the vacancy? Well, let's just say, it's never too late to create a vacancy. If Joe Biden wants and the Democrats think Kamala is doing more harm than good, then the lady will be out of office before she realizes what struck her. Impeachment requires a vote of both chambers of Congress. Republicans will obviously vote in favor of her impeachment, and when Democrats are directed to do the same by their party, let's just say, life is going to get miserable for Kamala. After being impeached, Joe Biden can nominate a new vice president, and it's likely going to be Pete Buttigieg himself. Why will Joe do so? Well, he's a salty man and would like to rub Pete's new appointment right at Kamala's face.
That's right.
There's no doubt about it. Kamala Harris deserves to go. Here's all the things Kamala Harris was tasked by Biden: resolving the southern border crisis, selling the American Rescue Plan, advocating Biden's infrastructure package, representing women in the workforce, highlighting the black maternal mortality rate, assisting small businesses, assessing water policy, promoting racial equity, combating vaccine hesitancy, and fighting for a policing overhaul. Did she score a victory on a single count? No. What's worse, she's blaming Joe Biden for giving her these difficult jobs which are way out of her league. Kamala Harris and her team feel that since the vice president's office is now held by a woman of color, the task given to her should be easy and achievable. Such a person has no right to be the vice president of the United States. She needs to be sacked immediately.